Welcome back to Face the Truth. Earlier, we laid out the details described by the Bible about a war that would signify that the end of the world is near. Now, did these things actually happen during the First World War? Let's compare what was prophesied in the Bible to what was written in history. Now, we're going to read excerpts from two different books. The first book is World History. This is what is stated. The First World War was unlike any war in the past. This was the first war in three dimensions. The first war in which cities were bombed from the air and winged warriors fought among the clouds. Of course, the airplanes of 1914 were not so fast, so formidable, nor so numerous as those of today. They were really more important as scouts, a kind of aerial cavalry, photographing enemy movements from above. The soldiers had to turn themselves into beavers and moles and dig deep trenches. British had invented the tank or land battleship, an armored automobile which could move on rough ground because it was built like a tractor. And in another book entitled Fascinating Bible Facts, we quote from that book, chariots were the ancient equivalents of modern day tanks. They were very light, fast, and easily maneuverable. Chariot crews consisted of 2 to 4 men, a driver, and 1 or more warriors, such as archers, spear throwers, and shield bearers. Chariots function best in flat terrain, so chariots in Israel are mentioned more often than in Judah. There were more hills in Judah. Now, as to the weapons mentioned in the Bible, chariots like a whirlwind, their fulfillment were the tanks used during the First World War. How about horses swifter than eagles? They were the airplanes which the book we read mentioned, that the airplanes were like an aerial cavalry. Now, the Bible not only mentions the weapons and all of the other facts that we presented so far, which we have seen fulfilled one by one, but don't forget that this wind or war is being held back by 4. Who are the fulfillment of these 4 which held back the wind or the war? We're going to read from that book we read earlier, an excerpt, and this is what is stated. Orlando of Italy, Lloyd George of Great Britain, Clemenceau of France, and Wilson of America were called the Big Four when they met in Paris to confer concerning the Treaty of Versailles. So the First World War was restrained through what history calls as the Big Four, namely Orlando of Italy, Lloyd George of Great Britain, Clemenceau of France, and Wilson of America, 4 great leaders of 4 powerful nations. Now, to this point, you have seen one by one. The Bible laid out the facts about the First World War almost 2,000 years before it even took place. And you have seen these for yourself, and you can even check out these facts for yourself. However, some may still not be convinced, and in truth, there are those who will never be convinced no matter what information is presented to them because of their personal bias. However, there are those who are maybe, we should say, on the fence, and they need some more. Well, there is more, which we will present on our next episode. And you will see that the Bible actually mentions the amount of time between the end of the First World War and the start of World War II. You don't want to miss it. The truth may be painful at first, but whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, the truth is something we all must face. Thanks for joining us on Face the Truth. Until next time, take care and God bless.